So do a live stream, they said. You know, just go on there, do a live stream. That's great. Work with animals. That's also great. I am pulling apart something that's in this box, which this cat will hopefully help with. This is Misty. And she will hopefully help us go through this stuff and have a look at what we get to do. So, hi, I'm Adrian. I don't normally do live streams on this kind of content. I usually do other kinds of content. But I have with me a very special product, the Sega Mega Drive Mini. But this one is a display only, as you can see by the sticker on the back here. And that means that it is a non-functioning unit. And it's actually somewhat more interesting to have a look at. So let's have a look at what is inside of this. No intros or anything today. But the fun part is what's actually in this box. I'm going to plug it in and have a look at it as well. This is, in fact, a special treat for me, actually, today, is the Sega Mega Drive Mini with this amazing little card that they've got here for us, which if my lights were not flickering and I could align myself correctly, it would be fine. Basically, it says, Adrian, it's been almost 30 years. I've missed you. I look a bit different and have lost a little bit of weight recently. I'm ready as ever for some gaming fun. I hear that TV has changed, but I have recently had myself upgraded. I've brought all my mates to the good old days, including Sonic, Alex, Kid, Echo, Mega Man, Mickey, Donald, and many more. Even Dr. Robotnik missed you. You know, the bad guy. Ready to do what Mega Drive does? Plug me in and let's get started. So let's have a look at what the retail packaging looks like. This is a very special treat from 5-Star Games today. And a very haphazardly thrown together live stream because reasons. Look, I love the box. I think the box is awesome. You've probably already seen all this stuff on everyone else's channel. I hope the content that I have is going to be a little bit more interesting from the non-functioning display model, which I have here, which I'm guessing is considerably lighter than the original. So we'll go through that in just a moment's time. But in the meantime, let's open this thing up. I actually have my Extron tweaker here from the industry that I actually work in, which is systems integration in the AV landscape. That is the bottom. I'm an idiot. I might just stop that camera from automatically focusing every 5 seconds, which is just so frustrating. Let's grab that. Let's grab that. Let's do that. Okay. Let's have a look inside the packaging. So this is my first time opening it. I do have a HDMI lead here ready to go. Ooh, what's this? So that's the power supply cable. Sit that to the side. That's the console. We'll put that to the side. Comes with an HDMI cable. It's very thoughtful of them. Comes with a lovely user manual, which is also very thoughtful. Ooh, controllers. Is that it? Okay. Stick that to the side for now. We may have more cat interruptions as we go. So this is a functioning... Wow, that's incredible. A functioning non-display only retail Sega Mega Drive Mini Mega Drive control pad. This, on the other hand, is a Sega Mega Drive control pad for the Mini. Okay, sound a little bit different. They feel very similar. That's very interesting. So let's start with this one. Let's move those aside for now. Let's open up the main attraction, which is obviously the Sega Mega Drive Mini itself. You can see from this beautiful packaging, just comes out. Ooh. Now, should we do a very satisfying peel? Hopefully that will work. Not that I've done ASMR before. Here we go. Oh yeah. Okay. So, weight-wise, they're about the same. On the left is the display only early release. On the right is the actual finished product. I can feel that's got a slider in it. This is empty. That's empty, as you can see. That one has a click to it and a reset button, which this doesn't have. They physically have actual ports installed, which I thought was fascinating when I got my hands on this. And we can see that they both look identical. If we look down in the slot in here, absolutely nothing. If we look down in this slot, absolutely nothing. Well, that's somewhat disappointing. I believe there's an expansion slot here, which has absolutely nothing in it. Interesting. This one here is the display only, which also has absolutely nothing. Okay. Well, that's a bit of a disappointment. Let's break into these bad boys and let's see what's going on. So the display only model, I've actually already had apart because I was like, oh, surely there's some way I can activate this thing and get in there. I'm sure the framing's okay. Let's go in here. But what I was really fascinated by when I actually did pull this apart to have a look earlier, because I've had this for a while now, is that they put a circuit board on there with absolutely no circuitry whatsoever. You can see all the stuff is missing there. A little bit more. If you've ever watched Big Clive, you would appreciate some of this stuff now. Is there anything caught? No, it's just a screw. So where it gets really weird, right? So I'm going to dump the screws out like so. This is, oh, it's overexposed. Let's fix that. Let's fix that. Let's fix that like so, hopefully. Nope. That away. So this here is the display only model, and you'd expect to see underneath this heat spreader a stuck these over here for now. Should get my little tray. You'd expect to see a chip, but this is a completely blank board, which is just the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. Because I've heard of this happening in counterfeit eBay auctions for consoles, but I've never experienced it myself. So this here, sorry, my arm's completely in the way. Put that over there. Is a completely blank, let's bring it up, completely blank PCB. Nothing. To the point which I find really fascinating, if I can find some form of light source to shine underneath this, it's nothing. It's got no traces on it whatsoever, but it has all the pads for the physical connectors. So it looks and feels like a real thing. So that is absolutely incredible. And the controller is exactly the same, but we'll get to that in a minute. This, however, is a fully functioning, apparently, unit. Let's do the same thing here. We'll get in here as quickly as possible. I believe M2 were the company behind this who actually did all the emulation. There was a giveaway on the Cheese TV page that you would have, if you've seen that, you would have seen my ugly mug as part of the promo behind that, which is all kinds of fun. If you'd like to join in the conversation, please do, because I always like seeing people on the stream. So here we go. We're now in. Aha, except that's the other way. So let's stick this one. Oops. Let's stick this one over here, and let's stick all the screws on that. Now, this looks completely different. Let's pull this up. So, same shape and size board, but as you can see from this, it has... Ooh, that's interesting. That's an on switch. Oh, that's the actual switch for the thing. Sorry, I'm being ahead of myself. It's actually populated with chips, whereas this board is completely not. So I thought that was absolutely fascinating. You can see it's actually got a check mark and everyone's happy with it. Let's go through and have a look at what chips they actually have, because that's going to be fascinating. This one I'll be a little bit more careful with because it actually does have circuitry on it, and I would like to plug it in a second and have a play, because that would be actually fascinating. Dump. Love the heat spreader. It's a really lovely design, and it keeps it all passive and no need for fan cooling. Let's see if we have a thermal pad under there. I think we do. Very gently. Yep, just a thermal pad. So we have some Samsung flash memory here. We have, I should zoom in on this. I can't because I haven't got it set up because I'm so lazy. We have a Samsung, what do you call it? Flash memory chip here. That's the main processor. No idea what that is. We'll have to look up what they are. Looks like a power controller slash microcontroller. I don't know. There's an HDMI driver chip. Don't know what this is. We'll look that up later. But yeah, that was just fascinating to see this whole comparison of what a non-populated board looks like and what a populated board looks like in a display-only console, so that they definitely could make sure that no one would actually ever play with it, which I thought was just a little bit mean, but also very, very clever. So let's put this thing back together. Let's plug it in and have a look what it does, because that's much more fun. So the problem I have now is I have a controller which has display only on it, which means that I can't actually use that with the controller, because it too is like this one and has absolutely no circuitry on it whatsoever, which is just absolutely fascinating. So let's put that back together. Lovely, neat little design. Like, that's just very cute. That is in the off position. Okay, so the fader does nothing, but the physical buttons are the on-off switch and the reset. And there's an LED that shines up through that little thing. It's a surface mount with a little sock around it to keep it nice. That's off, that's off. Beautiful. Let's put these screws back in. And apologies for doing this live, but it's much more fun for me to do things live than it is for me to pre-record and edit and carry on. It also means that I can be more timely with getting the content out there. Metal X has said hi. Hey Metal X, how you going? So let's get this one in. Let's have a look at what's going on down here. So that was fascinating to see the two different boards there. I would like to do that with the controllers. Actually, let's do that with the controllers too. I love the detail they've gone to with the expansion slots rather, with all the placement of the. Yeah, just everything is so good about the detail they've gone to with this system. Very impressed. Okay. So we are back together. Okay, so that's the working one. That's the display only one. Let's do exactly the same thing here with the. That's all. I've forgotten something. Have I forgotten something? No. Yes, but no. That's fine. I'll allow it. It's fine. It's together. Whatever. Let's have a look at the controllers because this is also fascinating. So this is a retail controller. This is a display-only controller. About the same weight, slightly heavier. I'll pull out the scales at some point and have a look. But let's pull this one apart. Get into it. This is probably the most boring part of this stream, is actually seeing me pull things apart. Very poorly, mind you. You can see where I scratched myself today, which is all kinds of unease in a stream. Oh, Metal X is saying he's done another cover today. Thanks for joining in the stream, Metal X. I do really appreciate it. And we'll open this one up. And then sometime in the next couple of days I'll be retreating this room. The acoustic treatment all fell down, which is kind of fun. Let's have a look here. Okay, so this is a retail controller. We will dumpity dump dump dump. And you can see in here now, this has a printed circuit board with hopefully some pads on it. There you go. And you can see the chip they're using there is an A31419. Guessing it's some kind of multiplexer, or maybe USB controller. Anyway, you can see this actually has circuitry inside of it. So let's sit that like that. Sit that off to the side and do the exact same thing now with the display only controller. I love it. They've used the same exact outer casing, so the physicals are exactly the same, and even the buttons respond as squishy. Like, it feels like the buttons. I still can't believe they've done this. It's just brilliant. Having not seen how people do display onlys before, it makes sense. And it would probably cost a bit, well, apart from the chips, it'd probably cost about the same to do that. So let's grab this out. One more screw. Also love the fact that they used machine font. I don't know if you can see it on the card. Because I'm doing this with crappy webcams. I am lazy. No music tonight. Okay, so this is a display only version. This is my favorite part. Cable and everything is real. Buttons are real. Completely blank. I don't know if you can see that. It's completely blank. So it's even lighter because they've used a... No, there's just no copper in the PCB whatsoever. Yep. That is just incredible. Same PCB, different copper. If I grab that light again, you can see straight through this board. But if I grab this board, you can actually see light doesn't shine through it, and you got all the light doesn't shine through it, and you got all the traces there, which is fascinating. So got to see a little teardown of the device, display only versus the real device, and thank you so much for joining. I do really appreciate it. I'd love to play some games. I'm gonna shut down, do it again. Thank you for joining. See you next time. Bye.